Hey guys, and welcome back. We are entering the end game now. Newcastle, 4 games left in the Premier League season. Let's assume Liverpool win their remaining 3 matches. Newcastle are required to pick up 7 points to guarantee us Champions League football at St James's Park next season. Wow, it's getting tight now. I'm so excited to see where the club goes. We are already guaranteed European football. We are guaranteed to finish in the top 7. And because of that, I lost my bet, meaning I've got to get a Mehrdad Ghodoussi tattoo. Since my video a couple of days ago, Mehrdad has responded to that post a couple of times actually. We'll leave one of them out, but we'll address one of them in this video. But anyway though, welcome back to the channel guys. If you're new around here, make sure you get down there, hit that subscribe button, smash the like button you enjoy. We've got plenty of information to get into in today's video, so pretty much this is a bit of a roundup video. We're going to tell you everything you need to know about this Leeds match on Saturday, who's coming back from injury, what's going on with the squad. As well as that, we've got a Bruno Guimaraes class act as well. We've got plenty of bits of information to get into. So if you like what you're watching, make sure to let me know your thoughts down in the comment section. Tomorrow is the Leeds United overnight stay vlog, so make sure you stay tuned for that. But anyway, that's the intro. Without further ado, let's get straight into things. First off, let's get through the Mehrdad tattoo talk. The sooner we've talked about this, the better, to be brutally honest. As I said at the start of the season, if Newcastle get into European football, I will get a Mehrdad tattoo. It's happening now. I promise you guys watching this video, I will be a man of my word. I've came out, I've said it, and now I will back the words that I've spoken. I will get the tattoo done. I'm hoping to get it done before the end of the season. I still need to book in the tattoo artist. The thing with me as well is I'm wanting to get a vlog out with, so I've got to sort out certain things such as, is the person doing my tattoo happy being recorded? Those sort of bits and bobs really. So if you guys watching this video are either a tattoo artist or you know with someone that might be happy doing that, feel free to get into contact with me. But otherwise though, I will book it in. Hopefully within the next couple of weeks just before the season ends. So yeah, we're going to get that vlog sorted. Back on topic now though, as I said before, I went on the BBC Radio Newcastle 2 days ago. We were talking about the topic of the Mehrdad tattoo on there. Since then, BBC Radio have actually been plugging all over their social media pages, and Mehrdad has responded a couple of times to it. I'm going to leave out the second interaction for the vlog itself in a couple of weeks' time, but we're going to talk about his first one, and that being he said he was going to hold my hand when I'm getting the tattoo done. On a serious note though, I know he's joking around here, but it's great to see this level of connection between the ownership and the fans. Never under a million years in Newcastle now would you see ownership actually interact with the fans like this. I mean, this is an Adam P tattoo vlog with Mehrdad, Jamie, the likes of Amanda. Just all these people interacting with these sort of topics. It's lovely to see. It's really good. Of course, when fans are putting their hard-earned money at the football club, it's great to see the ownership connect to those fans, and how those fans connect to the club more in return. So it works well for everyone, and it's great to see the ownership. I've got to be honest, I don't think Mehrdad's shown much humility at all. He really wants me to get Mehrdad Ghodoussi on my skin. He really wants to see it happen. So listen, I mean, if that's what he wants, that's what he's going to get. He's pumping all his money into this football club. He's getting us to where we want to be. Listen, I'm more than happy to take a bullet for that man. I would do whatever he wants me to do. So yeah, it looks like we're going to have to follow what he says. But I honestly though, again, it's great to see the connection from the ownership and fans. And one more thing before we get into the next part of the video, sorry. So I actually went onto Facebook before. I don't ever really use Facebook, to be honest. So I saw the BBC Radio Newcastle post on Facebook with a lot of comments on it. So I thought, why not? Let's have a look for some of the comments. And I have to say, some of you guys need to chill out. Some of your level of hatred towards me is crazy. If you don't like the post or you don't like me, just don't comment. I don't get why some people got so angry about it. So one person in particular, I'm not going to show his name because I don't want to give the attention, but this comment, by the way, is so slanderous. He's been saying how I've been bragging about going holiday with our people are struggling. I mean, that's got no relevance to me whatsoever. So he's managed to somehow worm me into the cost of living crisis. He just make me out to be this horrible human being. I mean, that is so slanderous, lad. You can't be doing that at all. So yeah, try not post that on Facebook. My parents, my family's going to see that. So I would appreciate it if you aren't going to be so nasty towards me. But I just thought I'd address that because some of the comments were pretty bad, to be fair. Next up, we got Bruno in the middle. Once again, as an unbelievable human being doing something for a fan that is unfortunately struggling at the minute. Now, this is actually quite good timing as well, because you remember last week on the channel, I made a video in particular sort of being quite judgmental towards our teams in the Premier League, especially how they're treating fans. I didn't like the way that Premier League clubs were treating fans, and I felt like there was a massive disconnection between the two. And I credit Newcastle on this because I think we're probably one of the better teams in the Premier League in terms of interacting with fans. You get so many opportunities where fans can meet Eddie Howe, the players, the ownerships, etc. It's a really good, healthy club at the minute. Now, before we get into Bruno, I just want to quickly address Declan Rice because I really liked his interaction last week. It was brilliant to see. A fan crying at the pitch, Declan Rice comes home. I had a lovely conversation with him. It's unbelievable to see. I really did like that one. Brilliant football player. I love him at Newcastle. But honestly, though, as I've been slagging some of the other teams off in the Premier League last week, I do want to credit to Premier League teams when they do it well. That was a really good one, Declan Rice. Moving on to Bruno's example now. So unfortunately, we have a 4-year-old Newcastle United fan called Arthur who is suffering from leukemia. And it's not just leukemia as well, it's actually a genetically mutated version that, according to the GoFundMe page, has never been seen by doctors before. So it's a one-of-a-kind type of leukemia. So essentially, before the Newcastle game against Arsenal, Arthur actually put out a little post wishing the players good luck for the game and tagging Bruno in it. So Bruno did respond to that post, and literally just 2-3 days later, he's invited Arthur and his family into his house to come meet him. And it's just a really lovely gesture. It's a chance where Bruno has took some time out of his day. He's met a fan one-on-one, and he's just had some time spent with Arthur, which is lovely. It's so nice of him. And it's one of them ones where it's not just nice for Arthur, it's nice for Newcastle fans. Everyone gets to connect, everyone gets to see firsthand just how lovely of an interaction really is. So speaking of Arthur, one more time, I'm going to put down his link for the GoFundMe page. His family's trying to raise £3,000 to get some research done to try and help him out as best as possible, get him the treatment that he needs. So best of luck, Arthur. Keep the fight going. We know you can do it. So yeah, guys, if you want to donate, make sure to do so down in the pinned comments. Anyway, guys, now it's time to get through the Newcastle United squad. What injuries have we got going into the Leeds game on Saturday? In my personal opinion, what Eddie Howe is going to do with the squad. And then we'll wrap up the video after that. So let's get through the players first. Joelinton being notable number 1. So it was reported by Jordan Cronin that after the Arsenal game, Joelinton actually came out of St James's Park with a limp. Now, thankfully, since Jordan Cronin actually also came out and said that a few days later, he's went back into training. And everything seems to be fine regarding Joelinton. So it's just a case where he must have been sore after the match. The Arsenal game was just a bit of a disaster as a whole, to be honest. So we need to get that behind us now. And hopefully, during this week, Eddie Howe's give the players a good kick up the arse again. Just like an Aston Villa loss, ready to get us going for the last remaining few games. Sean Longstaff is another big one as well, because it was reported a few weeks ago that he actually broken his foot. Now, obviously, with a broken foot, he's going to be out for the rest of the season. So thankfully, Craig Hopers came out and he's actually said that Sean Longstaff doesn't have a broken foot, but he's still doubtful for the Leeds match. So it's possible by his sounds that he could be back for the Brighton game next week. If not, definitely for the Leicester or the Chelsea one. So we're going to get some Sean Longstaff this season, which I do think is a good thing. I actually believe as well that the Arsenal match is a really good example of kind of showing off how important it actually is as a squad. I always feel like when Newcastle fans were looking at start 11, Longstaff is probably the one they're going to pick on, or a bit of that punching bag in the midfield. But honestly, I think Bruno had a bad game against Arsenal without him. So we'll see if it's a case where Sean Longstaff being in that squad not only helps himself when he's performing on the pitch, but also helps out his midfielders as well. So we'll see once he returns how important he's actually been, because I think the midfield against Arsenal got ripped to shreds. Other God had our life. So it's important against Leeds, where we're playing, with all due respect to them, a lesser squad. We've got to be able to punish them. Sam Allardyce will look at that game, he'll be licking his lips because he hates Newcastle. The Leeds fans are going to be right up for it. I actually thought as well I had a good half against Man City. I really thought they could have potentially even got a result against them. So it's important against us. They're going to go for 100%. So we've got to be ready for it. We've got to be ready at Ellen Road. The Leeds fans are going to be all over us. So we've got to be ready as a team. Bit like the Everton match, we'll soak up all the pressure and then we'll pick them off in that second half. We'll kill them on the pitch. And that's what we need to do now. We've got to be ready after that Arsenal match, because that Arsenal game, I'm still disappointed. We weren't terrible, but we weren't very good either. So it's about bouncing back, and that's what we've got to do as a team this season. But as for the formation, what I personally think Eddie Howe is going to do, now Callum Wilson and Isak is going to be the big decider, because Eddie Howe for the first time actually played them both in the starting 11 on, of course, on Sunday against Arsenal. It just didn't work well at all. I didn't think it worked particularly well. So will Eddie Howe change that? For me, no, I don't think he will. I actually think he will stick with the same formation again. The thing is, of starting those two together, they're too good not to start. I think some of the arguments that people came out and said that, well, Isak coming on the second half, those two actually worked so well in the second half, but coming in the start of the game, it didn't perform that well. So maybe we should go back to how things were and got them off the bench again. But honestly, for me, we're starting from minute one. I think it'll be much better. I think it's just a bad week at the office. I've got to be brutally honest. It's one of those ones where, as a team, we're not going to do well every single week. We are going to perform bad at times. Arsenal are still a class team as well. I think people have written Arsenal off for some reason. I know they've lost the league to Man City, but people are still going, oh, we should have beat Arsenal. Listen, Arsenal is still a class football team. They're still chasing City down for the title, and they're still going to finish at least second in the league. So it's not like we lost to a bad team. Be ready for... We've seen the likes of Brighton. They've lost 5-1 to Everton in their last game. So it's about us taking advantage of it now. We've got to be able to pick up the pieces, because I'll be gutted if we don't get top 4 football, especially with how we played this season. We deserve it. We've got one last push now. Let's get on that pitch and make the most out of it. But honestly, for me, though, I think Eddie Howe will keep things the same. Maybe might rotate a player or so, but honestly, I think you keep the formation the same. I think you will start Wilson Isaac again. We'll see how things go, and we'll see the likes of Aaron and Gordon. We'll see if they can come off the bench and pick up the pieces as well, if need be, in the game. But it's up to us now, Newcastle. We've got to make our mark. We've got to get in that pitch. We've got to make them pay. But anyway, though, guys, hope you enjoyed watching. Make sure to let me know your thoughts down below. Huge game of football coming up. Newcastle need to get the 7 points in the next 3 matches as well. If we leave it to the last game of the season, we're going to be in big trouble. We've got an opportunity now to make sure it does not go down to the Chelsea game. 7 points in 3 matches, it's doable. Brighton is a hard match. I think Leeds, actually, to be fair, Leicester at home, so it won't be easy. Well, the games that I think on paper Newcastle should be looking to win all 3 of them. I honestly think we should. Brighton's the hardest out of the 3 because of how well they played this season, but they're going to be under a bit of pressure now that they've lost a huge match. So, come on, Newcastle, let's get it done. 7 points in the next 3 matches. We've got to make them work. But yeah, let me know your thoughts down in the comment section, guys. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you all tomorrow for the overnight stay vlog.